Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for this short presentation to inform you about the key capabilities of GoldMine CRM. And today I'm going to focus on activity management. How do you keep a track of your sales activities, reminders, and tasks? Now, one of the reasons for running these short presentations on a regular basis is that when I meet with GoldMine users, we sometimes find that they're not aware of all of the main things that GoldMine can do for them. So in these sessions, I want to concentrate on these key features that GoldMine does, tell you more about them, how you might use them in your business, and maybe how other organizations are using this capability. This presentation will be approximately 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, depending on how things go, how many questions you've got. So this is just an overview of this feature. It's not meant to be training. My company, Wizard Systems, we offer many extensive training options if you want to consider those. I know people on the call today have taken advantage of that. On the call today, we've got quite a few people. There's, I think there's well over 70 people logged on to this session. And looking down through the names, I know that you're on different, many of you are on different versions of GoldMine. I'll be showing the latest version today, but much of what I mention is relevant to all versions of GoldMine. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel. As I say, it's not meant to be an extensive training session here, but I'll do my best to answer your questions. I'll, as you post those questions, I'll just read out your first name to protect your identity. And I say we'll handle those towards the end. Also, this session is being recorded. After the presentation, you should receive an automatic email from our system with a link to recording. And we'll probably put it up on YouTube as well for good measure. Okay, so let's get started then. Just a brief mention about my company, Wizard Systems. We're a top worldwide supplier of GoldMine. We've been doing it for 22 years, and we offer a wide range of different services to help you get the most out of GoldMine. Any implementation, consultancy, customization services around GoldMine, training. We can do training at your place. You can come to our training center. We're based just north of Bristol. Here's our leafy offices in South Gloucestershire, and ongoing support as well. We've got a nice, friendly, responsive help desk service here. So if you get stuck with GoldMine or have a query, we're just a short phone call or contact away from you. Okay, let's dive into one of my demonstration systems. We'll just go through the basics of activity management then. Right, here is an example of a GoldMine system here. You'll recognize it. And the first thing I want to point out is as regards seeing activities against a contact, of course you've got the pending and history tab, but I've highlighted the notes tab first of all, because I sometimes find that people, if they've not been made aware of all the extensive activity tracking options in GoldMine, they sometimes put activities into notes. Notes are just for general notes, not really for activity information, because it can be very unstructured. Notes are very unstructured information and difficult to maybe find activity information or report on it. So the way to go is using these two tabs here, displaying these two tabs, pending and history. So pending will display all of the outstanding, overdue activities with this customer, not only your activities, but your colleagues' activities as well. Because remember, when you're using a CRM system, you're not working on your own in a vacuum, you're working as a team. So it's important to see what other people have planned with this customer. And then as you do those things in GoldMine, there's a concept of completing the activity where they are then removed from pending, no longer displayed in pending, and visible in history. So history will show you in date order all of the things that have been going on about this customer, as I say, not only your activities, but your colleagues' activities as well. And you can see there the general columns that we've got displayed: date, time when the activity took place, who was the name of the customer, what was the type of activity, the subject of the activity, who in your company did it, and the result. And with later versions of Goldmine, you have this preview panel here which you can turn off or on as you wish, which will, as you're gliding up and down those different activities, you can see more information, more detailed information and audit trail information around that activity there. So how do activities get into the Goldmine system? Well, there's at least 5 or 6 ways of creating tasks, logging future activities or logging something that you've done. So for example, you have a schedule feature there, right above the customer record. You have a schedule option there. On the Goldmine toolbar, you've got an option there. If I click on the pending tab, I can right click here and go to schedule here. So it's very simple to schedule these reminders, and typically what comes up, whether it be a call, appointment or task, is something like this, where Goldmine is asking you for a reference, a main objective, a subject of this activity, and yes, you've got loads of drop-down lists there. You can manually type in things. You've got some notes there. You can type in War and Peace about this activity. You can expand out that box there and type in loads more information if you want to. Top right corner, who's going to do this activity? It defaults to you as the logged in user, but you're working as a team, so you can schedule this to another person. It is possible to schedule activities to multiple users in one process, but in reality, in this example here, a phone call, of course, it would just be one person. It would be quite confusing if you gave the job of a phone call to multiple people. When is this phone call due to take place? So we default to today's date. We can put in a time there as well. We support alarms in Goldmine, so you can be alerted at a different date and time to the due date and time of the activity there. And other miscellaneous options, notifications, marking things as private, sending an alternate reminder to an individual as well. And then down the lower part of this dialog box here, this window, we've got a way of categorizing this activity. So this is a phone call. Goldmine uses a short code box here, generally 3 letters. And the whole idea about this is that if you as a person, you've got lots of phone calls, in this example, you've got lots of phone calls to do, and you come into the office in the morning and you look at your activity list in Goldmine, there's many activities that might be displayed there. How do you prioritize and look at the key things? Well, using these short 3-character codes here, and these are just examples, by the way, these are just ones, I think probably these are the ones that come with Goldmine. But for example there, the one I've chosen there, if the objective here is to make an appointment with the client, maybe that's a key thing that I want to be vigilant about and be in front of my mind when I'm looking at my activities for the day. I want to concentrate on all of the phone calls that hopefully are going to result in a client visit. Well, that might be an appointment. And these codes, they appear in many places in Goldmine. They're not going to slip away there or be invisible to you. So think about those codes, those different types of activities. So you schedule the activity. It duly appears on the pending tab of the customer record, there for everyone to see. Now, how do you, when you come into the office in the morning, how do you see all of your activities? How do you manage your time? How do you prioritize your workload for that day? Well, there's a couple of primary ways of doing this in Goldmine. Option 1, you look at your activity list. Option 2, you look at your calendar or you look at your calendar. So the activity list will show you row by row here all of the things you've got to do. In the top left corner, you can navigate your way around those different types of activities. And the key types of activities that Goldmine is tracking for you are phone calls, appointments, actions, miscellaneous to-dos, forecasted sales. If you caught our presentation, one of the other weeks we focused on tracking sales in Goldmine and other sort of miscellaneous stuff as well. There's also a literature request option in Goldmine, not often found, I should say, in many other alternate CRM systems, but the way of scheduling to a user. And maybe you have somebody in your company, well, first of all, maybe your company sends out lots of literature by mail. So if there's one person in your company, maybe a sales administrator, that is the focal point of this sort of activity, you could use that option there to schedule requests to them. So at the end of the day, that literature request person could click a few buttons and out comes covering letters and information on what information needs to go to who in what envelope. So quite a nice way of managing that process there. So very easy way of seeing all of your activities, activity types there on your activity list. There's different ways of sorting this list as well. Just like an Excel spreadsheet, you can click on these column headings there to sort that. You can filter on certain types of activities. So if there was rather a lot of information here, you can drill down on that. You can see different date ranges. You can see different other users' activities if you want to. So numerous options there to customize that display of that activity list. And then complementary to that is the graphical calendar in Goldmine, particularly useful where you want to see this, as I say, in a graphical way, or where your activities have a start time and a duration, and a nice way of planning and seeing all of those activities. Now in this calendar, you can actually see your activities displayed in a number of different ways. This is the, if you like, the traditional way where we're seeing a week at a glance here, our activities, but we can, down in the bottom left-hand corner here, do you see there's some tabs there to see alternate date ranges. There's also a planner view, quite interesting, more of a summary type view, as is the outline view there as well. So you can actually dive in and see different things, and you can drag and drop things around if you want to. Another nice feature of Goldmine is the Pegboard. So you can see here who's logged into the system, who's logged out. A nice way of seeing where everyone is right now. So a couple of tools there to manage those activities. And then if you're the sort of person that needs to be managing other people's activities, or you need to monitor what people are up to, there are a few things in Goldmine to assist you there. There's a report writer in Goldmine with a number of standard reports built in to print out information about activities in a detailed or summary way. Also, we have dashboards in Goldmine. You may not have seen these in the system, but there's about 8 standard dashboards that come with Goldmine, and 2 or 3 around the activity area, where these dashboards will prompt you for, at the top, some parameters, date ranges, names of users, types of activities, and then you can see in a summarized format there, pie charts, bar graphs, and maybe some detailed table below that, allowing you to drill down and see that information in more detail. Okay, so that's a quick run through of activities there. As I say, it's just meant to be a simple overview of the capabilities, but I'd now like to open out this morning's short presentation to any questions. So please locate that question section. Feel free to pose any questions. Please can you restrict them to questions around activities, as the session today is mainly on activity management. Okay, first question from Marianne. The tabs you showed in Goldmine were different names to ours. Why is that? Well, those tabs, Marianne, you can change those tabs. Each user can have control over what tabs they see against the customer record. I actually simplified my display, trying to keep things nice and simple. I just had notes, pending, and history, I think. Might have been one other tab there. But yes, you can change those tabs as you see fit, and the sequence those tabs as well. Next question from Hugh. How can I delete all activities of someone who's left the company? Well, yes, you can remove all activities. In the activity list, Hugh, there's a couple of update options there, rollover update options to remove activities of a user that has been removed from the Goldmine system. But you may want to consider if a salesperson has left maybe and a new salesperson has taken over their role, there are options of easily moving overdue, say, phone calls and sales, maybe sales as well, from an old user to the new user, so you don't use that vital information and those calls and when they should have been made and the notes those calls as well. So yes, you can remove them, but you can also move them to an alternate user's schedule. Next question from Dora. Can you print out your activities? Yes, you can, Dora. You can print out your activity list, and there's various reports in your report center to print out those activities as well. Question from Gareth. What's the key difference between notes and history? Should everything not go into history? Yes, Gareth, you're right. Everything should go into history. History is the audit trail of all important activities that have gone against that client. Notes is just for general background notes. Notes is for some snippet of information that may not easily fit into some other screen or field or box on the various Goldmine screens there. So yep, as you complete activities, as you log activities, they go into history. That's the way to go. Next question from Ian. The activity list seems to be geared towards a call center environment rather than ours where phone calls are less predictable and schedulable. Yes and no, Ian. You don't need to schedule phone calls to complete them. You just complete them as you do them. So if you suddenly took a phone call from a client, and if in your business phone calls were sort of fairly few and far between, or maybe you took a viewpoint that you don't want to religiously log every single call, then it's your decision at the end of the day. When any company uses a CRM system, you decide what are the key parts you want to use. What are the key things that are relevant to your business? What processes do you want to track? If you don't want to religiously track all of your phone calls, no problem. It's entirely up to you how you use this solution, this powerful solution. And if you just want to log these ad hoc calls as they come and go, no problem. You just complete them. You just complete an activity there. Okay, so hopefully that's I think that's all of the questions answered there. It just remains for me to mention a few other things to you while I've got you on the line. We've got a Goldmine introduction course on the 21st of July. This is for anyone that's maybe new to Goldmine. It's a day's course at our Bristol Centre, and we'll look after you. All the refreshments are included. And we cover all the basics, all the day-to-day basics of using Goldmine. We've got an advanced course on the 28th of July, Tuesday the 28th of July, which will go into far more advanced options in Goldmine, filters, groups, reporting, opportunity management, that sort of thing. Also last week, we had a hotfix out. Now, every month, there is a Goldmine Hotfix, as it's called. So these are general little fixes to any issues that might have cropped up in between major releases of the Goldmine system, of which there's normally 2 or 3 every year. So Goldmine Hotfix. You'll catch all this latest information on our Goldmine blog. for any of you that haven't seen our Goldmine blog, if you do a search for type in UK Goldmine blog or something like that, this should find us. There we are, Wizard Systems Goldmine blog, and this will give you, it's fairly active. There's normally a few posts every week giving you hints and tips, and there we are, Goldmine Hotfix 2. The latest release of Goldmine is 2015.1, by the way, but you've got there all the information about Hotfix 2. You must have an annual maintenance contract with us to access these Goldmine updates, and most of the time these updates are very easy, very straightforward for you to implement on your own systems. Also, remember our website, wizard-systems.com or .co.uk, and something that's relevant to today's call. If anyone out there is using Outlook or Exchange and you want to share your activities in a bi-directional way with Outlook or Exchange, we've got a great system, a very popular system called Riva, R-I-V-A. This is a bit of glue that joins Goldmine to Outlook Exchange, so that if you put a calendar or task or a contact, and there's an option for email sharing as well between the two, you only put information in once and it appears in Exchange and Outlook and vice versa. So a nice way of synchronizing, sharing information in a bi-directional way between these two powerful systems. So that's the Riva add-on. Please contact us, Wizard Systems, if you want more information on Riva, a presentation or a trial of the system. Goldmine 101 next week will likely be on emailing or possibly preferences. I'm not too sure at the moment. If you've got any good ideas for future short presentations like this, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Tim Wilmot, Wizard Systems. Email me, tim@wizard-systems.com. There's our website. Please phone us if you need anything to do with Goldmine. Thanks very much for your time this morning. Have a good day and hopefully catch up with you next week. Cheerio, bye-bye.